Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at basically the Super Saiyan Goku Mini and a little bit of build, a little bit of discussion about him in PvP. And I think people who've been using Goku Mini, he is a really solid unit. At least based on what I've seen, what I've looked at, my own experience, etc. I actually find that he's an incredibly solid unit that's running at a pretty good level. Like, I think he's running at a really solid kind of range level of performance. So Goku, functionally speaking, let's talk about him. So he randomly destroys one of your own cards with his main ability and brings out his Dome Speed Rush. Of course, from that, restoring his own health, his own key, increasing your own Dragon Balls, plus 50% to his unique gauge. All really good stuff right off the bat with the main ability. In terms of his uniques, he applies the following effects to himself when battle starts, plus 170% to damage inflicted, which is great. Damage reduction of 70%, damage reduction to impact damage of a further 10%, arts card draw speed increase of 1%, and then minus 10 to strike arts card costs, which is pretty good. The following effects will occur when he enters the battlefield, and those are basically restoring his own key, applying the buff effect to him, nullification of enemy special action cover change, nullifying destroy card effects, which is great. Then he also destroys an enemy's card and inflicts all enemies with an attribute downgrade minus 15% to strike blast and special move damage, which is great. Then every time he uses a strike card, he charges his own unique gauge. He will also increase his strike damage inflicted, which is really good. And then when he switches while he's on the battlefield, basically he has nullification, so that's really good. I think overall an incredibly good functionality. So all in all, right now I would say Goku looks really solid. In terms of his secondary passive, he's got there his own knockback effect, which is great. Then the unique gauge, when the unique gauge is full, he will get a special arts card, restoration of his health, and an increase to his damage inflicted. And basically, when an enemy activates Rising Rush while he is not defeated, he'll restore his own health, restores his own health by 30% when it reaches 0 as well, shorten the substitution time account, and cancels enemies' buffs. So basically, he functions as a Rising Rush nullifier to a certain extent, by obviously improving all of his mechanics to that point. So really good stuff. Obviously, I would say functionally really cool right off the bat. And then of course, if he is not defeated, he will restore his own health, increase his arts card draw speed, and obviously nullify unfavorable element factors. And if the enemy activates a special arts card, he also restores his health, increases his damage inflicted, and key recovery and crit rate. So basically, like, how it works with Goku, to cut a long story short, is Goku's kind of like a little bit of a bunker unit. So basically, you're supposed to use him to kind of tank up a whole bunch of super attacks from the opposition, like switch them in whenever they're firing a super attack, throwing a super attack, throwing an Awakens arts, and you let them kind of roll with that, and he basically gets, like, blown up, so to say, recovers all his health, and then because of that, his crit rate, his damage, his everything starts to go up. So that's functionally how he works. Obviously, there's a little bit of a caveat to that, like, that's how he works, but I mean, there's a couple, like, you can't take too much damage, and unfavorable element nullification only exists for so long for him and stuff like that. But generally speaking, that's how he's supposed to work. So you're supposed to switch him in for all these high damage moves and let him kind of tank them, let him build up all of his functionality and his damage and his this and his that, and then eventually what will happen is he'll have so much extra damage, so much extra buffs, that he'll just be able to blow up opposition. And he's also a special arts connoisseur, so he will throw special arts all day, every day, pretty much all the time. So yeah, I would say he's really, really good. Look, functionally speaking, I think he can do a lot of damage as well. Like, his green card is really good. The more you use his green card, the better it gets, providing more and more progressive buffs. And also, obviously, removing nullification of special element factors and all that sort of stuff for the opposition as well. So there's like a lot that he does that I think is really impressive and really, really good. So the green card's great. I think the blue cards are also good, both the special and the ultimate. The special does massive explode damage, but also obviously inflicts the enemy with no switching if your unique gauge is full, which I think is super helpful, because nowadays, with the amount of switching that people can do, being able to nullify that and prevent it is kind of a big deal. So that's really, really good. And then his ultimate arts is really, really good, because that one there basically reduces the enemy's key recovery, card draw speed. If your unique gauge is full, it debuffs him further. It nullifies restore health effects. Like, it does everything pretty much that you need it to do. So that's really, really solid. I think Goku, like, if I was to really focus on his equips, I think health, special damage is really solid. In general, like, as a unit, obviously, I think there's always, how can I say it, like, there's always differences when it comes to like how to run them, but I think generally speaking with Goku, strike damage, special damage, HP, I think all of that's going to be good. In terms of teams, there is the whole Daima, how can I say it, the whole Daima, like Daima weapon wielder category thing now, and it's not a bad category in any way, shape or form. It's actually quite interesting, quite solid, but basically also, although that is quite solid and quite decent, there is also the consideration that yes, it's still a bit new of a category. It would have required you to pretty much summon quite extensively over the last couple weeks. Although I do like the team and the equipment and the way they boost each other is very, very good. I think personally you're probably better off running him on like a Son family, maybe even a Saiyans, or like a pure Saiyans team, maybe just to kind of get him going. Well, obviously you can just run him as the lead for whatever team you want to run him on. I mean, that's also more than fine if you're gonna look to running him as a lead. But yeah, I really do I do like Goku a lot. Like, I really dig how he works. I think he's a cool unit. Obviously Daima maybe is too fresh or too different for people to find super hype, but for me, I think he's cool. Obviously it's kind of like having a kid Goku, like a GT Goku, I guess, which isn't always the most hype thing in the world. GT Kid Goku, I wouldn't be someone who goes like, wow, that's really the most hype unit in the game. But I don't think it's a bad moment, and I think Daima Goku, I think the Daima animation's been really cool for me personally. I've enjoyed it. I think it's been quite cool. It's a bit of a harken back to like good old DB, which I do quite like. But yeah, I would say, look, for me, ultimately at the end of the day, I think he's cool enough, and I think his build is really good. Obviously that should be the case for any Legends Festival, Legends Limited, but I personally find that he's easy to use, fun to use, and ultimately is a really cool character to use. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're welcome to have your own opinions on units, but I think for me, Daima Goku is really good, and I think he is going to be a solid unit for a while. Any unit that I find functions on the Son family or anything like that tends to just be good for a very long time. So yeah, that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, until then, take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.